We're going to examine 5 scenarios of different types of oligopolies in this chapter. The Sweezy, the Carnot with collusion and cheating, and then the Stackelberg, and then end with Bertrand. Starting with Sweezy, this is a condition where there are few firms in the market and there are many customers. Also that the firms produce a differentiated product. Each firm believes its rivals will cut their prices in response to a price reduction, but will not raise prices in response to a price increase. And barriers to entry do exist. So we'll start with a prelude, where again we have demand 1, which represents a marginal revenue, MR1, and marginal cost. So you know the profit maximization for this one firm would be simply marginal revenue equals marginal costs. That's this intersection there. And we read up to the demand curve to set the market price. So the price would be at P sub 0. However, that's not the case. We have an oligopoly. So now we introduce demand 2, which is the other firm, and they have a different demand curve and a different marginal revenue curve. So now we have a choice. Are we demand 1 or demand 2? Well, the very specific condition of Sweezy oligopoly is that the prices will be matched going down, but not going up. In other words, demand 1 is going to be operative above B, and then demand 2 will be operative below point B. And that is this kinked green curve. That's a Sweezy demand curve. Now, that makes the marginal revenue a little more complicated, because we're going to have marginal revenue based on D1 from points A to B, and then we're going to have a different marginal revenue from B to G, right, from B down to the bottom. And this is what it looks like. So we have the slope of AC based on the shape of D1, and then we'll have the slope here based on D2, right here, and the point in between goes straight down because that's the point of inflection. And that's why this is quite an interesting marginal revenue curve, because it has essentially 2 kinks. One at that point, change of direction. One there, change of direction, down here. Now, the profit maximization rule still applies. For firm 1, they want to have MR equals MC. And that happens at this point, right there, C, right? MR, which is this unusually shaped, kinked marginal revenue curve, and then MC stays the same. There is no change in cost structure due to the other firm. So this is the point that is the quantity determination point at Q0 still. We read up again to the demand curve now of what we believe to be the market, which is this Sweezy demand curve, and we set P. So that's how the price is set. There are some other interesting attributes to Sweezy oligopoly, and I'll just illustrate one of them. That is what happens if the marginal cost of the firm 1 drops, and it drops to marginal cost 1 from this line down to here. Notice that the range does not change the optimal quantity for firm 1. So in this case, there's a fair amount of rigidity in the price because of this item, and where firm 1 reaches an optimal position for their profitability.